Hello gamers, and welcome back to Oopsie Doopsie video on Legion's Tower Defense 2. Today we will be reviewing 3 starters, starting with Pyro. Pyro costing a 220 from the Bazooka starter unit of tier 2. It is a very good starter, as in the first 10 seconds it can easily wipe out the whole wave of the first and the second waves. This allows you to gain that initial Mythium income instantly to 4 and 5. For the wave 3 and 4, you might want to think about having a Pierce damage dealing tank, as you're in front of the Pyro, because you want to be prepared for wave 3 and wave 4. Wave 4 being the impact damage and swift defense, in which would be very difficult if they send a hermit. Thankfully in this playthrough they did not send a hermit, and we was able to be taken care of quite easily. And if they sent a hermit, that would allow any damage that the Pyro dealt to be healed. That would be a big problem. And now we skip over to wave 7, which is another one of the Pyro's weak waves, as the minions have arcane defense. It really messes up Pyro's magic area damage. And as you can see here, in this playthrough they actually sent a hermit, and the damage that the Pyro deals to these slimes are close to 0, as they recover really quickly. And yeah, that it's a very difficult wave to counter with the Pyro as a starter. So you have to be careful, have a good arcane tank and good DPS, single target DPS, to take out those slimes one by one. So in conclusion, here is what you should do. And this is my full review of the Pyro and some tips to help you out. Next we will be moving to Neko as one of the starters. Neko, as in the beginning, you would want to go upgrade all the way to 180, because if you stop at 150, the enemy, your opponent will definitely send you 2 snails, and you will definitely fail, because there is not enough damage dealing and your health would be too short. So what you want to do is, on wave 2, you want to be fully prepared and fully upgraded, in order to counter any of that. As we go on to wave 2, as you can see here, they did send 2 snails, and thankfully we were well prepared because we watched this video. And we fully upgraded our Neko Mata to fully upgraded, and we are able to pass this wave with ease. Now you instantly buy the workers, because you don't really need to upgrade anything else with the third wave, as they are magic damage dealing and their health is not that high. So with the upgrade, the fully upgraded ones, you can heal yourself while you kill an enemy. So it's really good. And that way you still have 5 workers and wave 3. And the Neko is also really good with the wave 5, because it is a pierce damage, but you would want something else on the side, best to prepare for wave 5, in order to counter the pierce and natural tank. Now we move on to wave 4. In this playthrough I let out a bunch of bone warriors, because God knows why. But it was part of the experiment. Playing Legion's Tower Defense 2 is really an experiment, trial and error. You learn things as you go. So you just need to have fun with it. Now we skip over to wave 6, which is one of Nekomata's really weak wave, because they have fort defense and impact damage, which does full 115% to the Nekomata. So you want to be really careful, have a good swift defense over there. And now we move on to wave 7, which is a strong, in which Nekomatas are really strong against. So you don't have to worry about that too much. So it's good for wave 7 and 8. But as you can see, I did build a Mudman in order to anticipate for wave 9. You may feel free to play as you'd like on how you'd like to build with the Nekomata. Yeah. Brain fart. Yeah, and now we are at wave 9 with the Pierce and Fort defense. You want to have a good fort in front of your Nekomata in order to counter that. So here's the full review on the Neko. It needs to be upgraded. Good high single DPS. Can solo wave 1 to 3, upgrade to full. However, you need to have that fort tank in front of them. And now finally we review the Windhawk and another tier 1. So you'd want to have at least 105 invested, and don't spend any money on the workers, because what you want to do is to upgrade the Windhawk to Violet on wave 2. It does take a while on wave 1 to take out all the minions, and in this scenario I used a Proton. Thankfully it was enough to deal with all the minions, but it is very risky and it does take a while, so that'll allow the opponent to build that extra Mythium that you could have made. Now here you can upgrade your Windhawk to Violet with the cost of 180, which means the total value, the total investment for a Violet is at 265. It is actually pretty good as a magic area damage dealer again. So it can pretty much solo wave 2 and 3 together. As you can see here, I did not add another tier 1 on wave 3, and even though they did send an the turtle, the Violet was able to take care of it with ease. And then you'll have your 5 workers up. It can also take out wave 5 with ease as well, as they are tanks, natural tanks, and the magic is really good against natural tanks. However, you would, as you can see here, I put down a warg in order to counter wave 4 swift dealing damage. On wave 6, Windhawk is also good. Windhawk itself is good because it has a DPS of 24. I think. I don't remember for sure. But the Windhawk itself is actually high DPS, so you don't really need to upgrade it to Violet for wave 6. But it doesn't hurt. No, actually, keep it at Violet, at Windhawk for wave 6. Now wave 7 is a hard one for Violet. Wave 8 is also quite hard because the Windhawk and the Violets are natural tanks. They're very weak against magic damage, so you want to have a good arcane tank in the front. At least 200 value. Now on wave 9, it was done with ease. On wave 10, that is where it gets a little difficult because the Violet is a magic area damage as a spell cast, so it's not very good against the boss. So here is the full review of the Windhawk and the Violet. Yes, always beware of the ghouls and the hermits when you are building this, because they are very, very weak against those. Now, Legion's TD2 is a game of trial and error. You win some and then you lose some. Really, you just need to enjoy it as you play, and make a couple friends as you play along the way. I hope you enjoyed this first starter review session, and look forward to the next one. Thanks.